Hey guys, how's it going? It's Philip with Trade Genius. Boy, Litecoin has been on a tear. We had a price projection of initially $115, and then it hit that, and then really just hit the booster jets and went crazy high. Currently, we're trading at $238, and so what I wanted to do was take a look at Litecoin and the price action, and kind of give you guys a narrative of what to expect going forward here. So let's dive into the charts and check it out. Right now, what I have up is a one-day chart. Okay, so to put this move into context, and I have the chart set to logarithmic, so we can scale the size of the move. But if you remember back in September, we had a big run up, almost getting up to $100, and then we pulled back quite a bit. In fact, this pullback, if we look at that in percentage terms, was about 65% pullback, so quite a bit. But since then we consolidated and we continued to move up, and we kind of kept this kind of a trend here. You could draw a trend line through here, and it held to that pretty nicely. Okay, so now we started to go into a kind of a parabolic curve. So the difference here, though, is like we've had a lot of volume in this space here. So it's not like it's going up on little volume, because that would be a tell that maybe there's not a lot behind this move. The volume definitely is picked up. You can see a stark contrast here with this area here versus the stuff that kind of was down in this level here. So definitely money coming into the space. So let's take a look at are we getting to a point where we're going to take a pause or a break on this move? And I'm going to point out some things here. The RSI definitely toppy on the daily, and we also have some toppy action here on the Stochc RSI. This can stay embedded. It can go like that and then fall down. So we kind of look for clues like what we call bearish divergences, and I've shown you guys that before. So this kind of gives you the context of the move. Now, if we go to the 4-hour chart, what we see here in the 4-hour is that we've got this range here from this low to this high, and right now we're pushing up higher. So basically, if we pull back, here's what I would be looking at. If we got a top here and we pulled back, I'd really be looking at this level here, this blue line, about $155. The reason is we've got this nice volume shelf here, okay, and also it was prior resistance right through here, this area here. So if we hit, now this is a parabolic, basically a parabolic curve, and we'll zoom out and look at that. But if we poke up above that, basically what I at that point, that's going to tell me we're really overheated, and then I'd be looking for a pullback somewhere in this area. So if you were to get out here with profit, and if you guys were in this from back before this broke out, you guys are in major green. And with Litecoin especially, it's really one that will jump up and then kind of not hold on to its gains. And so you kind of saw that here on this first run up to around 100. We had that pullback. So something to keep in mind. Now obviously you have to take notice again of the volume coming in here, right? That's no slouch. So but I would not buy when we're topping out like this on the indicators. I'm not going to be a fan of buying up here, right? So this is definitely a time to be looking for a pullback. And definitely, if you're going to ride this, one option you guys could do is at the end of every 4-hour candle, you move your stop where you're going to get out. So if price moves against you, hits that target level, you move out. That's called a trailing stop, guys. So every 4-hour candle, you could move that up. And on this one here, it'd be below that candle there. So that's one way to approach it when you've got candles going up, 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 up. Lock in that profit. as far as the parabolic move goes, so this basically takes into account a curve that it hits multiple points, and you're trying to map out a trajectory that's going to take you parabolic. Now, this is a 4-hour chart, so we're going from, to get to like your parabolic point would be tomorrow, and if it continued to rise at this pace, you would be parabolic up here at 550 area. Sounds kind of crazy, but that's what you'd be looking at. You would also get into a larger parabolic curve up here. So to say that it could get up there is, I mean, that's a big move. That'd be a lot of money coming into that space. That may play out over more time. I think getting up into, whenever you start getting into a parabolic curve, it's gonna become headwind for it. So like I said, if we see any kind of sizable pullback, and with Litecoin, that would not be that wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary if this thing pulled back to 150 and then reloaded to go higher. It really wouldn't. But that's just something to keep in mind, guys. We are starting to get thin up here in the air. It can run longer. In fact, sometimes when these things do this, they run longer than anybody expects. A lot of guys are already saying, "Oh, it's ran up too far." But we could probably see 300 on a overthrow type move, and that would get everything really overbought. The other thing we can look at, you can kind of drill down to an hourly and start looking for clues. Now, here the hourly actually is in a buy, so you're going to probably want to see that play out. The other thing I'm going to look for too is we've already made a high here, and if you look down here at our RSI, okay, if this doesn't make a new high, let's just say this kind of meanders down here, and this does make a new high, then that's called a bearish divergence. You're going to have that going down and price going up. Okay, that's a bearish divergence. So also too, on the hourly, kind of notice the volumes kind of tapering off. That's another tell. If you don't see volume supporting the move higher, just something to keep an eye on. That may resolve itself out as this moves up, but right now it's kind of looking at that too. So as we speak here, we're heading, well, basically it's about almost 4 in the morning, and the London session is open, so obviously there's money flowing into Litecoin. So this probably is going to make new highs, but we're getting toward the top there. Sorry for the long video, but once you guys understand where we are in relation to Litecoin. So anyway, here's the other parabolic arc. So you can see, like, we start getting into this area here, 300. If we hit 300, and then you get maybe like an overthrow move to 320, probably a good time to take some profit off the table, because you're probably going to see a pullback at that point. And the other pullback, so right now, if that were the case, you'd be looking at something like this. Then you're looking at maybe like a $200 pullback down to the $200 range, and then a bounce up. Whether it made a new high there, that would really kind of depend on what we see on price action, but that's probably a no-brainer play there in this area to catch a bounce higher. But definitely, if you're up in this area here, definitely an area to look at taking profit on Litecoin. All right, so I just wanted to cover Litecoin because it is the move is just really, really strong, and I think it could run. I think we could see 300. I don't think that's out of the question. The other thing we wanted to look at was Bitcoin, because we've had futures now open for well over 24 hours, and so what we saw initially on the futures open was basically, in here we saw a bunch of buying, and then what ended up happening all through the Asian session, we basically sold off, which was kind of interesting. So we had a run up on the futures when they opened. Okay, this was futures opening here. Run up, that was great. kind of consolidated. Okay, then late in the U.S. session, we went up, and then this was Asia, and now this is London. And basically, it's all about this 17,300 level. Once we clear this area here, it opens us back up to challenging new highs. And right now we've got some fib targets up to 23,000, which between this week into next week, that's a pretty reasonable range considering the flows that are coming into the space. Real quickly, if we look at the other thing, guys, to key in on is the volume. And what I suspect we're going to see is that volume. Now you see, just like Litecoin, kind of, you've got a buildup of volume that's proving to be bigger than other areas of volume. So these all happen on periods where we had this was like a little blow off top. This was a big blow off top. But this one was smaller, and it just kind of consolidated. And the buyers came in. There was a fight, and then the equilibrium broke, and then buyers took over and drove it up. So you see these spikes. But this here, going into the futures and after the futures, is kind of a little bit different playing field now as far as volume goes. It's consistently higher. And so if we're going to see that stay consistent, and we see volume, starting to do that, price is gonna go along with that. And perfect example of that is if you look at the shaded area here. We've talked about this shaded area. That if you look at this, how this moves versus price, so volume coming into this space is definitely buying volume, and it's definitely gonna put pressure on this. So this is a daily view. And if we look at the hourly, right now, if we really drill down into this, guys, and this is heading into the London session, but basically the bears taking back control. This was a smaller fib zone, breaking back above it here at 17,090, almost 17,100. And then, if London's going to be strong buying, this is going to put this range in jeopardy. And like I said, open us up back to higher highs. So we'll see how that plays out. But looking very bullish here at the moment. And I think that continues higher. You have to keep in mind in the context of what we're dealing with. And that is that we have futures and we have basically what I think we're going to see is institutional flows. But we really need to look at the daily volume as we progress through this week to kind of confirm that. But I suspect we're going to see a marked difference and rise in volume. So we see that probably going to give us the green light higher. That's it, guys. So there was, wanted to cover Litecoin because it was just going ballistic, and kind of, we said it was going to break higher. And to be honest, it broke higher than I was expecting to see. But now we have to start looking at not getting too euphoric, looking for spots to take profit, and I think we're getting there now. Bitcoin, I think, has way more higher to go. Get used to the volatility. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but we'll walk you through it. Right now, suspect in the next 24 hours we break higher through this bear fib zone, and maybe we see those targets up there toward 18,000 in the next 24 hours. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you like what we're doing. Getting subscriptions helps us keep these videos pumped out, and hit that like button. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, there's links below to our website, or you can hit us up. Or I'm sorry, info.tradegenius.co. All right, guys, thanks. Take care. Bye.